For the world's absolute rarest fruits, buyers are often willing to spend lakhs of rupees on a single harvest. These varieties grow in extreme isolation, clinging to the humid tropical coastlines or tucked into the freezing, high-altitude villages of the Himalayas. When a fruit is this difficult to source, it's worth asking how much of the price is tied to a biological advantage and how much is just the cost of geography. We are analyzing the biological and culinary return on investment, the ROI, of 5 rare Indian fruits to see if they justify their heavy price tags. This is the exotic fruit ROI chart. The horizontal axis measures sourcing friction, while the vertical axis tracks unique value, the actual nutritional and culinary payoff. High-value investments land in the top left green quadrant, and overpriced vanity traps fall into the bottom right red zone. True value depends on who is buying. An ingredient that provides a breakthrough for a chef might be a poor use of resources for someone focused strictly on health. The first category includes culinary projects, starting with the crabapple. This is the genetic ancestor of every sweet apple we eat today. Harvesting it requires significant effort. In Kashmir and Uttarakhand, foragers must navigate high-altitude mountain zones to find these growing in the wild. The crabapple is dense with vitamin C, but eating it raw is an exercise in tolerance. It is intensely sour and astringent. The investment pays off only if you add the time and sugar required to process it into high-end jellies or ciders. Next is the feijoa, or pineapple guava. It requires the specific cold, damp microclimate found in the Nilgiri hills of Tamil Nadu to thrive. The payoff is a unique sensory profile, a sweet, aromatic interior that tastes like a combination of guava, mint, and pineapple. Because the feijoa is so fragile, shipping it away from these hills requires an expensive cold chain logistics network, which drives up the final price. On our ROI chart, both the crabapple and feijoa sit high on the friction scale. They offer a high return for a chef, but represent a much lower value for a casual consumer. These fruits offer a distinct experience for culinary hobbyists, but their high processing and shipping requirements make them poor choices for a daily dietary staple. The second category, therapeutic sweets, features the longan. Known in the Northeast as the dragon's eye, it has a long history in traditional medicine. The price is supported by claims that it cools the body, it improves sleep, and nourishes the blood. This matrix compares the longan directly to the common lychee. Looking at vitamin C, sugar, and hydration, the profiles are almost identical. Paying a rarity premium for longan yields no measurable physiological advantage over lychees found at any local grocery stall. We see a similar pattern with the loquat in North India, often sought out for its ability to clear the lungs and aid digestion. The loquat's primary friction is time. It has an exceptionally short harvest window before it begins to spoil. Because of that narrow window, buyers outside the growing regions often receive fruit that is already overripe, losing texture and therapeutic benefits they paid to acquire. For anyone focused on evidence-based health, these rare sweets offer a lower return than common alternatives. Our final category is the geographic anomaly, represented by the viral sprouted coconut. As a coconut ages, the water inside transforms into a sweet, spongy mass packed with electrolytes. This transformation requires the specific humidity and soil conditions found in coastal regions like Kerala or Goa. Because it is a living organism, the sprouted coconut rapidly degrades once moved inland. The spongy core dries out and loses flavor within days. Coastal residents can buy these for very little, but shipping them to landlocked cities creates an inflated price for a compromised product. On the ROI chart, the sprouted coconut splits into 2 different outcomes. For local buyers, it is a high-value, low-friction find. For inland buyers, it moves into the red zone. The value of a sprouted coconut is dictated by geography. It offers an incredible reward if you are standing on the coast, but fails to deliver that same quality once it enters a long-distance supply chain. Deciding whether to buy these fruits comes down to which of these 3 profiles best describes your needs. This is the buyer's matrix, mapping recommendations for the culinary gourmand, health optimizer, and budget realist. The culinary gourmand gets a green light for crabapples and feijoas. The cost is worth the unique flavors. The health optimizer gets a red light for longan and loquat. You can get 90% of the benefits from lychee or guava at a fraction of the cost. The budget realist should buy sprouted coconuts only locally, otherwise avoid the rarity market. The high cost of rare fruit is usually a reflection of logistical difficulty and geographic isolation, rather than a superior nutritional profile. Treat rarity as a way to explore new culinary textures, but rely on accessible, local staples to support your long-term health.